Welcome to Much Ado About Drama. This is the Stanislavsky Acting Technique series. Today, we're talking about tactics. There is an entire series on this, so go ahead and hit subscribe so that you can get notified about all the other videos. Drama teachers, you can also send this directly to your students as a mini lesson on tactics. Let's begin. What are tactics? Tactics are the actual actions or the how we get what we want. Quick review. Objectives are what the character wants to accomplish. Motivation is why they want to accomplish that. Given circumstances are everything that they know in the character that you know that's going on in the play, the circumstances, right, around where the character is at. You identify those things first, and feel free to watch the other videos in the series about those things if you want a little more information. Tactics delve a little bit further. It is your how. We can think about war tactics or strategies, right? Or you can also think of like a board game. When you play a board game, oftentimes even in the rules, it will give you tactics or strategies of how to win the game. We want to think about action words, verbs, the things that our characters are actually doing to accomplish the objectives. Important note, and this is what's going to actually allow the concept of tactics to help you as an actor. Tactics are actions, not emotions. Okay? Let me say that again. Tactics are actions, not emotions. So, to actually become believable as a character, you don't want to just play sad or play angry, right? You have something you want, the objective. You have the reason why, the motivation. Then you are going to take actions or tactics to try to get what you want. And whatever emotions come from the character are going to be led by those things. Rather than starting with identifying the emotion, you're identifying all these things, creating strong choices, strong actions, strong tactics in order to have the character work on achieving the objective. Some quick guiding principles when you are trying to identify tactics for your character. You want to use strong action verbs that are in the moment. Things like to charm, to convince, to threaten. Things like, I'm going to charm someone. I'm going to convince someone. I'm going to threaten someone. You want to think of not just basic verbs like I argue, but get a little bit deeper and get a little bit stronger in your action verbs. So instead of just arguing, think about, do you threaten? Or if you're arguing, is there a stronger word besides just arguing you should use? I'm begging, I'm pleading, I'm devising arguments to convince, right? We want to use strong action words. Tactics are also flexible. So when a character fails at one thing, they're going to quickly change tactics to something else. Tactics are also often relational, meaning that they are used towards someone else in the scene. So if you want something from someone else in the scene, you are going to do the action toward that person. In one of our other videos, I gave an example of Juliet in the classic Romeo and Juliet balcony scene where she says, "Wherefore art thou, Romeo?" And then he shows up and they have a whole interaction and decide to get married, right? In this scene, what are Juliet's tactics? So first, let's talk about her objective. Her objective, I'm going to identify it as if I were playing Juliet. My objective as Juliet is to connect with Romeo and express my love, while also navigating the danger of getting caught. In the scene, here are some actions that she takes. She romanticizes. So as she's talking about him, she uses a lot of lofty imagery and love and light on the wings. Okay. She warns. So she warns Romeo of the danger. If they see thee, they will murder thee, right? And so she's scared of, her parents or a guard or someone finding out he's there. She tests Romeo. So she asks him, if thy love is true, pronounce it faithfully. So she's seeing if he is really true to what he's saying or if he's just using her. And then she confesses, my bounty is as boundless as the sea. So all of these things are actions she's taking towards that objective. And then each of those actions shows a different shade of Juliet and what she's doing and who she is and what she's trying to accomplish. So when you are likewise, as an actor, trying to find your tactics, try to find at least four in any given monologue or scene that are like really different things from each other and see how the tactics change throughout the course of the scene based on if the character is getting closer or farther from the objective. If any of this information is helping you as an actor, I wanted to point you out to something that might also help you in auditions, which is my free audition materials guide, the 8 pieces that you will need for almost any theater audition. It is linked below. Drama teachers, I also have my drama classroom toolkit linked for free for you below. So here is a quick exercise that will help you identify tactics in your given scenes or monologues. Get out your scene or monologue, and you're going to start by identifying the objective. So make sure you know what you want in the scene, right? You need that to do any of the tactics. And then you're going to choose 3 main tactics that you could use. Now you're going to perform it 3 times, focusing on each of those tactics you identified. And then bonus, once you're really getting into the hang of this with your scenes and monologues, go ahead and try the scene, but switch those tactics midway through. So actually identify where those tactics switch and then see how it changes what you're doing and how you're making choices as a performer. Lastly, you want to take note of how your tone, your gestures, your facial expressions, your pacing changes with the different tactics. And you want to decide on tactics that help you make the most strong choice and help you feel the most connected to the character. So, again, tactics are the actions that your characters take. It goes beyond feelings. These are things that you're actually doing, and it's going to make your character so much more believable when you identify these things and choose the strongest, most active verbs that you can. I would love if you like, subscribe, and don't forget to grab the free audition material guide below. If you want more information to go deeper into objectives and motivation, feel free to check out my earlier videos on objective and motivation given circumstances, and look forward to my next Stanislavsky acting method video on the magic it. Happy acting and break a leg.